everybody but everybody involved in the field of probation, and I'm talking about academics, practitioners, politicians of all colours, even some Tories, think that this plan is madness. Basically what Grayling wants to do is line the pockets of his friends in multinationals like Serco and G4S. We all know how effective they are at running public services. They're both under investigation at the moment by the Serious Fraud Office of tens of millions of pounds of fraud in the government tagging contract, again with the Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice have been very tight-lipped about the risks around this as well. There's been a number of freedom of information requests made to them, which they've refused. Well, their risk assessment to be published, however, it was leaked in the Guardian in the summer. One of the most telling things was that they said that these changes will bring about an 80% plus risk of a compromise in operational delivery. That's a really bland phrase, but actually what it means is that women will be battered or worse by abusive partners, children will be sexually abused as a result of these changes. They're really rash, they're ill thought out, they're unproven. As I said earlier, the probation service is really good at what it does. The government's justification for this is that they want to bring the 50,000 offenders who are sentenced to less than 12 months custody every year into school for them to be supervised by somebody. They say they should be supervised by the private sector. We say they should be supervised by the probation service, because we've already proven time and time again that we're really good at what we do. Here in Leicester and Rutland, we meet and exceed the government's targets every year. We're rated as an excellently performing probation service, yet they want to kick us into the dustbin and replace us with, as I said earlier, the likes of Serco and G4S. It's just fundamentally wrong. It's wrong morally as well that these companies should be allowed to make a profit out of the misery of crime, and also it's going to result in some serious risks to the public in our communities, and that's not something that we can stand idly by and let happen. On another front, it's another example of the government picking into touch the terms and conditions of hard-working staff who really dedicate themselves to their profession. At the moment, at the point of change, which is early next year, terms and conditions are guaranteed. However, when the companies are privatised, which is going to happen right about the end of next year or the beginning of 2015, then those terms and conditions will inevitably go out the window and people will leave. People who've been trained by the public sector, whose taxpayers have paid for, their skill set's going to be lost because they won't want to stay in these jobs where they're paid a pittance compared to what they get now. The whole thing is fundamentally wrong in so many different reasons. I couldn't even begin to count the ways, but those are some of the most important to us. We're on strike today in order to support the men, women and children of Leicester, Leicestershire and Rutland, in order to make it plain to them that what this government wants to do is to ideologically drive out the public sector and replace it with their cronies in the city, so that they can go on and get big fat non-executive directorships later on in their political careers. John Reid, the former Home Secretary, who was no friend of the probation service, now sits in the House of Lords. He also sits on the board of G4S.